Welcome to the Vault Studios NFL podcast, an Australian twist on all things NFL. The boys are cracking into a nice cold beer from Burnley Brewing. Let's join them.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. I am your host, J.A., and I'm joined on Melbourne Cup Day by an absolute legend, Richie. How are you, buddy?
I'm good, mate. How you doing?
I'm well. It's a day off, the Victorian holiday. Couldn't complain. You know, I couldn't care less about horse racing, but if it gives me a day off, sign me up, you know?
Yeah, it's just like grand final eve, public holiday. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, but it's day off, so whatever.
Yep, I'll take it. And there's football on. Do you want to quickly do our Monday night prediction, Giants at Chiefs? I feel like you're maybe feeling the same way I'm feeling.
Chiefs win, I won't watch it.
Yeah, I'll watch it because I have this problem where it's a real issue too in my life. Where if there's football on, I have to watch it. There's just no matter how bad it is, I can't help myself. Like even though I'm sitting there going, "This sucks," I can't stop watching it.
I'll have it on. I'll have it on in the background, but that's about it.
I'm taking Chiefs big. I said it on the Sunday night on the show Sunday night with DJ. I think the Chiefs are going to kick the living crap out of the Giants. I just have a feeling they're going to get things. It's a get right game for them. I really do believe that.
They need it. They need it big time.
They certainly do. Quickly before we get into all the nitty gritty of the show, new sponsor. Sunday night show was announced. We've got Jake and Darren from J&D's Breaks Down Under, guys. This is they're a couple of blokes met doing helmet breaks, that sort of stuff. Obviously, you know, you've heard it. If you've listened to the show, you know all about it. It's basically a raffle for a helmet. They've contacted me. They've come on board as the Patreon sponsor. So every month, your helmet will be provided by Jake and Darren from J&D's Breaks Down Under. You can find their link in the thing. Get into their group. Get in their breaks. Look, what I really like about these guys, a lot of greedy people out there. These guys are actually not in it because they want to make money. They're in it because they really love the hobby and they want to make sure other people love the hobby too. So, you know, you can get ripped off in this collection industry. I can promise you I've been ripped off a couple of times without realizing it. These are real honest dudes, and you know I've really enjoyed. But Darren's a big Cowboys fan as well, so we had a good chat yesterday while Cooper Rush was getting it done against the Vikings. Just ripper blokes and a ripper group. So get in there, join their community, support them. Links in the podcast description. They're going to be the Patreon sponsor from now on. So thank you very much to Jake and Darren for coming on board. Also, our great friends at Burnley Brewing. I'm not having a beer because it's 10:30 in the morning. So it's a little early for me unless it's on footy trip, which it's not. I've got to go upstairs and deal with my kids as soon as this is done. So Richie, let's really string this one out. Let's drag it out. Yeah. Dark Horse Electrics. Get in contact with Dylan from Dark Horse Electrics if you want any electrical work done. Absolute legend. He'll look after everything you need. I use him personally in my everyday job as a construction manager. So he's an absolute legend. You couldn't go wrong there with Dylan. And finally, US Sports Gear, the gridiron season all around the country is either coming up mid-season, getting into the off-season. Get your stuff ordered, helmets, shoulder pads. Go to ussportsgear.com.au. Richie, did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it all, mate. Let's get into the show. Get
us into Jameis Winston, Richie boy.
Look, as much as I'm glad Jameis Winston isn't my quarterback anymore, I'm actually really sad for him. It looked gross. It was one of those ones, as soon as you saw it, you're like, yep, that knee's ruined. As it's come out today, it's a full ACL and MCL damage. So he's going to be out for a full year. With modern medicine these days, they seem to be able to get back for the start of the next season, but we are quite a few weeks in, so I don't know if he'll be ready to go at the start of the season. But look, it's really disappointing for Jameis. I don't know if you saw their video after the game of him in the locker room doing their Halloween thing with the smoke guy. It was cool. I do like Jameis. I just wish he was good, especially for my team. But I think for the Saints, this is going to really hurt. As much as Trevor Siemian beat us yesterday, it was far from convincing. The pick he threw that didn't count off that just piss week, roughing the passer penalty. He's not going to drive you into the playoffs and have you as a Super Bowl contender. So I think, unfortunately for the Saints, this is going to cost you any chance to win it all this year. And for Jameis, as I said, it's just really sad.
It looks like, this is dreadful news. I'll just say one thing on the injury when he got injured. It sucked. It wasn't a horse collar. I don't know why Devin White got flagged for that. There was nothing wrong with the tackle. He grabbed him by the back of the shirt. His hand wasn't inside the pads. I thought that was a terrible call.
I think you and I did talk about this yesterday. I haven't dug into it, but I think my understanding of that is that it doesn't. You don't have to reach in and pull back. It's more of the action of if you drag the player back while almost sliding under them, that it's the movement, not necessarily where you get them.
It's such a hard thing to counteract, though, while you're making that sort of tackle.
Refs they're so penalty happy. They just, especially against quarterbacks, they just throw so many flags. There were some roughing the passes yesterday, and not just
we'll get it to
we had
a
couple of shockers.
We'll get with the upset of the week. There was a shocker.
There were a bunch of shockers, and then who's the kicker for Pittsburgh?
Boswell. Is it Boswell?
Boswell. So Boswell rolls out on a fake run and gets destroyed.
I thought he was dead.
And that's not roughing the passer. That's 100% roughing the passer. Now
that was the worst one I saw for the day.
Just the fact it was off a fake or whatever, he is still the passer. He is passing the football, and he gets hit under the chin. His head snaps back so hard. If that isn't roughing the passer, then what the hell is? Yet we see other ones that are just so weak get called. It's infuriating this year. They call the rest of the game right, but the way they call quarterbacks these days is horrendous. Just may as well make it you can't touch them.
Hits and PIs, pass interference, it's so inconsistent.
Yeah.
But that's hard to adjudicate. I think the quarterback stuff, you're right. They're a protected species, and it's gone too far now. Like, if you establish as a runner or you're outside the pot, I agree. If you get a free hit off the edge, on the quarterback, you shouldn't be coming and drilling him in the head. But a lot of defenders don't now. They go for the ball. They don't hit guys in the head anymore because they attack that ball. So they don't do it. It's changed now. But I agree. As soon as a quarterback is moving out of the pocket, I think he should be live. I think he should be able to be hit in the same way that anyone else. He is no more protected than, like, Robbie Anderson from the Carolina Panthers got drilled on a crossing route. Perfect hit, led with his shoulder, got him in the chest. Great shot. But then the quarterback who sees a defensive end coming, if he accidentally slaps him in the head with his hand as he comes down to tackle him, it's a penalty. It's stupid. It's not going to change because the NFL are protecting their assets, and they know that quarterbacks are their assets. And when quarterbacks play, they score more, and people watch, and people like it more. As soon as you lose your quarterback, no one watches anymore. Simple as that. So it's interesting. But yeah,
I'm just looking for consistency. Like, can we just get some consistency? I agree. It's killing me.
Winston, though, I don't think it's. We're going to do a bit of a contender or pretender spot later, and this doesn't change my feeling much for the Saints. Like, Taysom Hill's due back next week. Simeon, is he that much worse than Winston? Like, they weren't winning and losing off Winston. This isn't like they've lost a star quarterback. Like, it sucks. It's probably going to be a bit of a dint in their offense, but their offense is terrible anyway, and they need Michael Thomas back desperately. Alvin Kamara does everything. Mark Ingram was a great trade. He looked terrific in this game. He's perfect for what they needed. I don't think it's that big a deal for their team. It sucks for Winston, and I was really sad for him. You even saw all the Bucs players go over, and Devin White, as soon as he tackled him, kind of like started screaming for the medical staff to come out and put his hand on his shoulder and that. Like, he's obviously got some respect there. He's obviously not a bad teammate, because when you can tell when a bad teammate, like when Andy Dalton got drilled late with the Cowboys last year and none of the O-line reacted, they're just like, yeah, whatever. He just drilled our quarterback late. Who cares? Like, you can tell when a guy's loved. Like when Teddy Bridgewater got hurt, guys are smashing their helmets, that sort of stuff. Like, it was like that. So it sucks for them. But in terms of the team, I don't think it changes that much about them, to be honest. No. Speaking of changes, though, the Rams are all in. They are all in to the point where they've traded for Von Miller, second and third round pick, Richie. Blows my mind. These guys they are just going against the modern team building element of draft. They just do not care. They just want to win now. And I love this move. I think it's great.
I like it too. As we were discussing yesterday, the Rams just have no interest in the draft right now. They said this team is at a point where you can contend for a Super Bowl since they were in the Super Bowl. And they've basically been trying to top up ever since. They're like, no, we've got a good enough core. The O-line and D-line are good enough. We're just trying to top up everywhere. If we can see a potential player like a Ramsey or a Von Miller, we're just going to trade for him and bring him in and hopefully it puts us over the top or gets us back to the Super Bowl. The NFC is super competitive. They're going to have the Cowboys and the Bucks and the Cardinals and the Packers to deal with. Yeah, they're the sorts of teams you're going up against, all of which have got good quarterbacks. So what do you go and get? A really good rush end who will probably only play second and third downs, which is perfect for Von Miller at his age. I love this. For a second and third round pick, give it to me.
Sign me out. It just adds such a different element because you know what? I don't think you can double Donald inside anymore. And he's still been dominating. It just adds another weapon. They've literally got, you could argue, they've definitely got the best interior defensive lineman. There's probably the best defensive player in the league in Donald. I think they have the best defensive back in the league in Ramsey. I would find it hard to take anyone over him right now if there was a draft for defensive backs.
That position is so hard. It is so hard to play. And
then,
he gets beaten and things, but hey, he wins more battles than he loses. And for a D-back, that's incredible. The way the game is called now, that's so big.
And then you mix it up with, I still think Von Miller's, in terms of pure pass rusher, he's probably pushing top 5 still. He was doing really well in Denver until they started getting injuries. Now he is a bit dinged up. They're expecting him to miss a week, but I think it's a great move. Love it.
Yep.
Absolutely love it for the Rams. They're selling out.
Yeah, get him right for the run. That's
the defense. If the defense gets a little bit better, that offense is really, really good. Really good.
Yeah.
In some sad news, this is probably sadder for a lot of fantasy owners. Derrick Henry is out for the season. He's going to have foot surgery. They're saying potentially back for the playoffs. We'll see, but he's out for the regular season. And they've signed Adrian Peterson. The corpse of Adrian Peterson continues in this league. We're going to talk about whether we think the Titans are a contender or a pretender a bit later. In terms of Henry, do we think this is a bit of a sign of the carries? Like, as I said, we've constantly gone on about this, that guys start to break down. Do we think this is what's happened? Like, he started well, but is his body breaking down or unlucky?
I mean, that's the easy thing to go to, is to say, well, all the tread on the tires, you ran out of tread, and now he's hurt. That's a super easy thing to do, and maybe it's the case. I don't know, but the long and the short of it is he's out. And whilst Peterson, and I was saying this to you earlier, and I know you don't necessarily agree, I feel like he's going to have 2 games of like 150 plus yards and 3 touchdowns. Everyone will go, oh my God. And then he'll go off a cliff. And then you think that probably won't happen at all. You won't have any good games. Peterson is the most freak athlete. I think he's the most freak athlete to ever play in the NFL. Just, the way he would get injured and come back and all those sorts of things. And the fact he's still going. Like, I feel like the scandal he had with these kids, I feel like that was so long ago now. Most people
How did he survive that? How did he survive?
I don't think he would now.
If that's now, he's gone. His career's over.
I would think so too. But just getting back to the long and the short of it, I think, look, it's helpful for the Titans, and now I think they are the overall number 1 seed in the AFC. But I don't know. Now your entire wagon is hitched up to Ryan Tannehill.
Let's wait till we talk about them from a team perspective. I'm not off Tannehill. I'm not off him at all. I don't
know if I was ever on.
I think I'm a converted man for Ryan Tannehill. I like what he does.
The good thing, we're gonna get to see.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out his value right now down the stretch.
Big time.
Let's get to the upset of the week. There was no other way we could look. The Jets were so worried about Mike White that they trade for Joe Flacco during the week, who then turned around and said, I might retire. That's how badly he didn't want to go back to the Jets. He comes back. He doesn't suit for the game. He doesn't play. Mike White comes in, and to be quite frank, he put on a fucking show, Richie. He put on a show against the Cincinnati Bengals.
As I said to you,
can you please tell the story, Richie, that I guessed this correctly?
Yeah. So I said to JA, and now I heard this somewhere else. It's not like I have my own stats and research department find this, but it was the first time that the Jets have had a 400-yard pass in a game since. And I said, JA, since when? Which quarterback do you think was the last to do it? Absolutely nails it with a Vinny Testaverde response. Now, couldn't name the year. Fair enough.
No idea.
But it was 2000. And then the best part, it was against the Baltimore Ravens, arguably the best defense of all time. And he lit them up for 400 yards that season. Look, this just shows, the Jets. I just can't comprehend not having a 400 pass in that long, in this era. It's just crazy. Now, I'm not going to get overexcited about the Jets. He threw those 2 back-to-back picks and then just started throwing it all over the yard. He's like, whatever, I can't get much worse.
Yeah.
And he knows he's not the starter and all those sorts of things. But hey, it was fun for him. I'd love to know the last time they put up 30 points. I reckon it probably was a while ago. But look, hey, good for the Jets. Definitely an upset. The Cincinnati were a 10-point favorite going into this game, and I reckon
Huge.
a lot of
I think it's
people
the biggest upset of the year.
if people threw them into money, just straight up money line into your parlays and all that sort of thing, having that blown up at the start, you would have been shocked.
I think they were paying for a head-up win. They were paying $11. I saw.
No way, not in a head-to-head.
NFL same game.
I would be absolutely shocked if
I'm pretty sure it
priced.
was.
Jeez, that's crazy, then. Absolutely crazy.
Because the Cincinnati Bengals have just beaten like 2 of the top teams in the league the last 2 weeks and just lost to the backers. And then they go to the Jets. It was unbelievable.
Isn't the Jets' other win against... Wasn't that against someone good as well? Who was their other win against? I'm sure it's someone good. Hang on.
I have to find it now. I have to find it now.
They got 2 wins. I feel like it was someone good.
Don't know. I actually don't know.
Titans. They beat the Titans.
Jeez.
They've beaten
big game players. They are the Jets. But like this is the only the second quarterback in his first start. Actually, I've got a quiz for you. Who's the other quarterback in their first NFL start to throw for 400 yards?
I actually know the answer. It's Cam Newton. I heard it yesterday. So I'm not going to try and guess that I got it right. No, I actually did hear that the other day. Look,
very impressive.
It's fun. This is a quirk. I don't think the Jets are good. But hey, they got to win, and now we don't have to see the memes about them with the guy from Squid Game.
The
old guy
interception for the season for the Jets. First interception of the season in week 8, and it was their defensive lineman, Shaq Lawson, who got the interception.
He's a good D lineman.
You know what? I've got a few mates that are Jets fans. We both do, Richie, and it must be absolute torture. Like watching the Jets every week. Jets and Lions fans, it must just be the worst. So I'm glad. I wish it had come with Zach Wilson having that sort of day, because now all the rumors are, and they play Friday night. They're the Thursday night game this week. I can't remember who it's against, but they're the Thursday night game this week. And if he does it again, riddle me this: if Mike White does the similar thing again, 350 plus yards, few touchdowns, wins the game, and they're playing the Colts. If they beat the Colts, are you just like, we've got to roll with Mike White and see what we have in this guy for a season?
100%, because
it could be a Tony Romo issue, Dak Prescott, that sort of stuff. Like,
yeah, but the thing is with Zach Wilson, you're not getting rid of him because you've got him under a 4-year deal with a 5th-year option. So there's no stress. If White turns out to be good, well, cool, just roll with him this year. Like, you're not Zach Wilson's not going to get any worse sitting on the bench. So, it wouldn't worry me. If he was playing great, just keep rolling with him. Sit Wilson down and say, hey, we had to throw you to the Wolves. You got hurt. This guy's playing well. Just hang in there. He'll be the starter again next year. This isn't the end of the world. You can probably get...
definitely would, though. If he doesn't go with that again.
Yep, but then I'd trade him at the end of the year if you can get... if he has a decent season, I'd just trade him somewhere else, get a bit of draft capital back, and for God's sake, get Zach Wilson a real backup. Get him a veteran who can sit there and teach him the game. And if he has to come in, he'll be fine.
It's got to be McCown.
I hate inexperienced quarterbacks backing up rookies who are starting. There's just no leadership in that room. It makes it really hard. So it's no big deal. If he gets the hot hand, just ride it. So, Zach Wilson's your future.
Yeah.
So if you can get a few more wins and try and improve the morale around the place and build towards next year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. I think I got a feeling it'll happen. I got a feeling he'll have a big day against the Colts, and we might see a bit more Michael this year. Got a bit of a feeling. Let's get to our weekly segment. I've gone bit basic bitch this week, Richie, but I wanted to go through some of the teams and talk contender or pretender. Now, when I say contender, I need to make this clear to everyone listening. I don't mean, are they going to make the playoffs? Most of these teams we're going to talk about are going to be playoff teams. I want to know if we think they are Super Bowl contenders. That's what I want to know. I'm not sure. Let's go through them one at a time. Quick reason why. My daughter's about to come into the room. I can sense it because who does podcast on a Tuesday? Richie, start us off with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Obviously now complete pretenders. I can't see any way how you can lose to the Jets and go on to win the Super Bowl. You know, there's just no way you, as I say, you can lose the Jets and then go on to win the Super Bowl. And as we said in the preseason things, they're just a couple of pieces away from making a real run. So no, pretenders.
I think the Ravens pretend. Sorry, I just had a 3-year-old come to the door to dob on her sister, and as I told her, snitches get stitches, and go and talk to your mother. So she's gone now. I can hear her crying in the stairwell for daddy. But you know what? I'm just immune to it now, Richie. The sooking just doesn't do it for me anymore. You can tell when they really need you, and she doesn't need me right now. She's fine. So Baltimore Ravens. I'm a bit the same. I don't think they can win a Super Bowl. I don't think they're strong.
Hang on, we're doing Cincinnati. Sorry.
Sorry, Bengals. I got the wrong one. Bengals. Yeah, I'm the same with the Bengals as well. I don't think they're equipped enough on the offensive and defensive line. Defensive line's a bit better than the O-line. They give up too much pressure. I'm still terrified Burrow's going to get hurt. I think it's coming at some point. The way he gets hit, the way the Jets are able to get after him, a good defense is going to be able to shut them down. Positives, though, I didn't think they'd be good at all. So Jamar Chase looks like he is the next big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Burrow certainly looks like the franchise quarterback we all thought he was last year. So I'm enjoying it. I think the future's bright, but they've got to do a few more things to fix up. But yeah, I don't think they're a contender. Ravens, Richie, what do you reckon?
100% contender. I feel like they've been good ever since Lamar got the start there. He obviously had his MVP season. But they've got to get over the hump. So they've fallen at the hurdle a lot, but they're genuine contenders. They are good enough.
I just think defensively they're not as good as what they have been in the past. They get gouged. But in saying that, I think Lamar's playing better than he has. I think Lamar's better than his MVP seasons. I think his MVP season was amazing, but I think he's throwing the ball better now. He doesn't have to run with it as much, which is good.
And they don't have the gauntlet to run through that they've had in the past. I don't think the AFC is as good as it has been the last couple of years. No, I'm not saying it's dropped off a cliff, but it's not as good as it has been.
I'm right on the verge here, but a playoff game, if they can get home field advantage, a playoff game in Baltimore, Lamar Jackson flying, their receiving core is better.
Yeah, and their conference is not as good as it has been in the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, I'll go contender, but wouldn't take me much to flip it, to be honest. The Titans, I feel like me and you are going to be similar on this. Without Derrick Henry, I don't think they're a contender. I think they're a playoff team. I think they're a good team. I think they win the division. They're 4 games up on the Colts. I think they're going to win that division quite easily. I don't think they'll get home field. I think they'll struggle on the road. They could be like a contender for a first round playoff because playoffs is different. Teams, they're ready for you.
They'll host first week of the playoffs against a wild card team, and depending on who that wild card team is, often they're red hot. The highest ranked wild card team when they come in are usually red hot when they come in. And you don't want to run into that. No Derrick Henry, no Super Bowl.
I agree. Buffalo Bills.
Complete contender. They just really fast this year.
I don't know if we have to spend
that
much time on this team. I think this is the most complete team in the NFL. Actually, them and another team we're going to talk about for the NFC soon. I think there are 2 teams that are I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they're the most complete teams in the NFL, and the Buffalo is one of them. They are strong on defense, good pass rush. The only issue they have is running the ball. They just do not run the ball well. And but I don't think they have to. I think they're the one team where I'm like, I think Josh Allen can just do it all himself. I don't think they need him. They've got great receiving core. They're deep, like Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, the second best Diggs in the league. They're loaded. Dawson Knox at tight end. Their offensive line's solid, but they don't have dynamic run game. I think Josh Allen's. I think he's definitely going to be up there for the MVP. He certainly could be the MVP this year if he continues the way he is. Definite contender for me.
Agreed.
Oakland Raiders. Sorry, Las Vegas Raiders more specifically.
I was going to say, I think they have to be a pretender.
I like him though. I love Derek Carr.
There's obviously been so much noise around them with the Gruden, all the other stuff.
Won 2 games since Gruden went down.
Look, don't get me wrong. I think they're good. I think they're a really good team. And I love Derek Carr. Like, you and I have been driving the Derek Carr fan wagon bus for years.
He is playing as well as he's ever played this year.
Agreed.
Honestly, we talk about his 2012 year where he was MVP candidate and got hurt. he's playing better this year than that year. I think that year was a bit of an anomaly of his career.
You're putting extra letters in there.
Yeah, I'm just adding extra stuff. I think this year he's genuinely just playing well. He's extremely comfortable in his position. He's got weapons around him. He's great, but I don't think they're a contender.
My biggest concern is the division they're in. It's just murderer's row. And it looks like they're all just going to beat up on each other. And their non-conference is not easy. Just the way they now just rotate it around randomly, you can just get screwed and get a really tough year, or get vice versa. Like Tampa this year's got a really easy one. So it makes it really hard for that. And because of that, I don't think they can win the Super Bowl.
No, I don't. I think they're very similar to the Bengals to me. They're a surprise. The defensive line's really fun. I think Max Crosby is just so fun to watch. His energy, the way he plays, how hard he plays is great. But in terms of in a playoff game, like if they're going to Baltimore in a playoff game, I just can't see them doing that.
You'd never pick them in that.
Even like if they're going to play the Chargers or the Chiefs, I don't think they're good enough in a playoff scenario. But they're going in the right direction for once. I don't think they're plateauing. I think they're trending up now. I think they're going to be better and better.
Hardest thing for them, and it's the same for the Chargers too. If you don't get home field advantage, chances are you're going to Arrowhead, to Buffalo, or to Baltimore. That's three places you don't want to go as a Southern California team.
Like, no, I wouldn't want to go to Tennessee either.
Tennessee as well. Either way, you've got these teams in the West who play in a desert and in Southern California, having to go east in January, probably for a 1 p.m. kickoff in the cold outside. It's bad matchups for both of those teams.
And all four of the teams are good. So they're going to beat the crap out of each other all year. So you're not going to be able to get that. I don't think any of them are going to be able to be the number one seed in the West. So it's tough.
And then you got to go there.
Chargers the same for me. I love Herbert. Their defense is woeful. They are historically, they're on track to be historically one of the worst run defenses in the history of the NFL. And teams have worked it out. You look what the Patriots did to them yesterday. They have 100% worked out they can't stop us running. And if we smother Herbert and we don't allow him time, because he's streaky. And what guys who are streaky need, like Aaron Rodgers, very similar. If you smother Aaron Rodgers' time on the field, he cannot get going. Now, Herbert's the same. And that's what the Patriots did yesterday. They ran the ball well, kept him on the sideline. Now, he did have some good moments, yes, but then he gets complacent and he makes mistakes. And the mistakes can be pick sixes. And that's what cost them that game yesterday against the Patriots. Their defense is going to let them down, although they've got good players, but they just can't stop the run. So unless they can fix that, they are an absolute pretender for me, which hurts because I really like them. I really do.
Yeah. And many of the same points, as you said, for the Chargers can go for the Raiders and vice versa. When you play, both those teams have brand new stadiums on turf in really good weather cities. When a team like New England come to town, one, there were 1 million New England fans in that stadium. But two, it's for them, that's a great trip.
Yeah.
They get out of the chillier weather, they go on the inside, fast track, all the rest of it. And for the Chargers, you can't be dropping those games. Like, you just can't, because your road games are hard. They're always going to be harder. So, it's not like, the teams are in the Northeast. When they go on the road, they get to go to a nice dome stadium or something like that. Well, yippee for them. They're used for the freezing bloody cold. So you can't be dropping home games like that. It's in conference too, which hurts your conference tie-breaking record. I don't like it. I agree that it's just so bad. It's just so bad.
I'm not buying the Chargers, unfortunately. Chiefs. I don't know if this is going to surprise you or not, Richie. I feel like maybe we're on the same card here. These guys are absolute contenders. Mahomes is playing really bad at the moment, and he's struggling. But this happens with quarterbacks. They have lull moments. They're still a top 10 offense, and he's still playing him. This is the worst we've ever seen him play, and he's still playing pretty well. It's the pressure. The pressure's getting to him, and he's making mistakes. He needs to get back to doing, all right, this is the right play. They're doing this. I'm going to do this. They're blitzing me. I'm going to dump it off to my running back for a 5-yard gain on first down. And I'm going to take what they're giving me and make them earn, and then it'll start to flow again. I think it starts today with the Giants. I think the Chiefs are 100% a contender. I'm telling you, whether they're visiting you or you're going to Arrowhead, I do not want to face them in late January, February in the playoffs. I think Mahomes will turn it on, and they're absolutely a contender. If if you write off Mahomes right now, I feel sorry for you. You don't have enough faith.
100% contenders, and the reason is relatively simple. Like, they have Mahomes. I know I said a few weeks ago it's really hard to go to Super Bowl 3 years in a row, and it's only been done a handful of times, I think twice. Yeah, it is. It's really, really hard because no one's done it. This is why it's so hard. But yeah, you do have Mahomes. They do have skill players all over the place. Their D is obviously a concern this year, but as you said, that's the last team I want coming into my building in January. If I'm in the AFC, I do not want to see the Chiefs anywhere near me. I want somebody else. I want someone else to do the hard work and knock them out earlier for me, so I don't have to worry about them. Because somebody like that, who can just turn it on and drag 52 other guys along with him and say, "Hey guys, remember we're actually going to come win this game. Let's go." I do not want that dude. Leaders, I never want people like that. Rodgers, Brady. I don't want any of those guys coming in my building. You know who I want coming into my building? Tannehill, Herbert, Carr to a lesser extent, Simeon,
Jameis Winston,
guys like that. They go, "Oh, who's coming into our building? Cooper Rush, cool, let's go." You don't want those guys who can lift up an entire team and say, "Hey, assholes, we're going to win this. Let's fucking go."
Yeah.
Every
team in the AFC is rooting for the Giants today. Every team in the AFC.
Of course they are.
If they fall to 4-4, if they fall to 3-5, the Chiefs, everyone's thinking, shit, they might miss the playoffs. They're going to almost win every game to make the playoffs. So every team, this is the big. That's why I think the Chiefs are going to win so easily, because this is a massive, massive game. I think Mahomes is going to put on a show.
They need it.
Over to the NFC, and we mentioned Cooper Rush, Dallas Cowboys. I'll let you go first.
Complete contenders. Like they won without Dak, for goodness sake. It took a drive to do it, drive at the end to do it, but
piss weak.
I've been saying it all year. They're so talented. I said it last year, and I got boned by a Dak injury. They are such a good team. They have done such a good job of putting that talent together. I don't know who the real GM is there these days, but whoever is actually making the personnel decisions, incredible job. With one of the worst head coaches in the league, they look awesome.
I've never been more sure after it yesterday. First of all, Vikings absolutely weak as piss, letting Cooper Rush drive on you to win a game. But when I kind of changed what's flipping my mind with this team, the offensive line is really good. Tyron Smith missed the second half yesterday, which hurt them. People going yesterday, if Dak played, do you reckon they would have won? I think they would have beat the Vikings 40-16 yesterday.
I won't say 40, but it would have been comfortable.
The throws that Cooper Rush missed are throws that Dak Prescott eats on. But the difference in this team this year is the defense much better. Much, much better. Diggs, Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch is playing well. Kazee coming in, the safety. Kearse they brought over from Seattle. These little 1-year contract dudes, they've hit on all of them. They're all playing really well at really high level. Yeah. Gregory, finally, he's as unblockable as anyone in this league right now. I know he hasn't got the name yet, but he is as unblockable as anyone in the NFL. They're going to get Lawrence back next week, Gallimore back on the inside. The defense is only going to get stronger personnel-wise. But the difference for me this year watching them is Ezekiel Elliott. The catch he took on 3rd and 11 yesterday when they were just going to settle for the field goal to split a tackle, then break 2 more and get 15 yards, then to allow the touchdown, that's vintage Zeke. He was absolutely outstanding. So, yeah, we talked about the Bills being the complete team. It makes me nervous, but I think the Cowboys are one of the most complete teams in the NFL.
Yeah, they are really good.
Green Bay Packers.
Contender.
Same as Chiefs for me. You got Aaron Rodgers. You got
Aaron Rodgers.
He beat an undefeated team without his 3 starting wide receivers. I'm sorry, and they didn't run the ball well either. He just went, I'm just going to win it because I'm way better than.
Because I'm Aaron Rodgers. Get out of my way.
And then he dressed up as John Wick the night before, went out off with his super hot fiance and just lived his best life. He is. You do not love Aaron Rodgers. Again, I feel fucking sorry for you. He is the man. Him and Brady are the man.
Unless you're a Bears fan, I get it.
Well, he owns you, so you have to love him. He's your owner. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Richie. I think we're going to say something similar here too. Brady.
Yeah.
How do you go against him?
Bad loss 100% competitors. Bad loss yesterday, but as we saw last year, Brady's good for a couple of those. He made some bad errors. The strip was bad. protect the ball a bit more.
Better character game. Better having him now than
and
anything
the D didn't play great either. There's some injuries there. A couple of guys come back. Contenders.
Yeah, contender. Cardinals. I don't think they're contenders. I like them. I think they're a really good team. Kyler Murray dinged up, ankles dinged up now. It's the same narrative we see every year with the Cardinals. Murray gets a little bit hurt. He can't move as well. Can't get out of the pocket. All of a sudden, the pressure starts getting a bit greater on him, and he can't make the throws because he can't throw from inside the pocket. He's a shorter version of Lamar Jackson. If he loses that ability to escape pressure, they struggle. Hopkins is now a bit dinged up. I don't know. I'm not saying they can't win a Super Bowl. I just think at the moment they're pretenders. They just don't. I said I'm not backing them. If they've got to go Green Bay, Cowboys, the Rams, I don't think they win that game in the playoffs. So I'm going to have to say they're a pretender.
There's often the team that starts hot who we weren't expecting, and they do fall away as the season goes on, which the Cardinals are a prime candidate for. But at the same time, they should have beaten Green Bay, 100%. That pass at the end of the game.
If Green looks, it's a touchdown.
I couldn't watch that.
Or if it's not picked off, it's a field goal and they go to overtime.
Yeah, I couldn't watch that game live.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching the extended highlights and I'm watching it happen. And I'm thinking to myself, I know the result. How the hell they lose this?
Yeah.
And then you see it. So they could have very easily won that. And with that many wins, you're just about in the playoffs. So I think I'm going to go the other way. I think I'm going to say contender.
They can win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you know what? I think they can. I really think they can. They've really improved. They improved in the offseason. That the team got better, and Kyler Murray is playing at another level above anywhere where he's been before. If it's sustainable, I think they can win it. I think they can win it all.
It's the injuries for him. We're already seeing the little niggling injuries that he always gets. That's my worry.
Yeah, I would never bet on it because you're not going to get a great price for them. But if I had to pick, say, 4 from the AFC and 4 from the NFC, I think I'd put them in.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. Finishing off, your boys, the Cleveland Browns.
Nah, they're gone.
It's
really sad.
They're last in the North.
They're so injured. They're so injured. And Baker's playing with a torn, whatever the hell it is, labrum, rotator cuff, torn something. And he's clearly tough as nails, and he's playing tough as nails. But
he's getting some respect from me, to be honest.
It's torn. What the hell's going on?
Shoulder, but you can see he's so bad.
It must hurt. It must hurt. Even getting jabbed up, every time we get hit, you're gonna feel it. And he's not being Landry and Odell. They're just dropping everything from 2 of the surest hands up in the league to just horrendous. They're so bad.
On Jarvis Landry, this is a guy that constantly, we've all seen his speech in the wide receiver locker room that you just got to turn up and do this. He fumbled. That was a big drive by Baker. He ran for a first down, got drilled out of bounds, should have got a late hit, which should have been a 15-yard penalty. I don't know how he didn't. And instead of complaining, he gets up and does the first down signal and starts pumping up the team. Next play, he hits Landry on a slant route, catches it, runs for 15 yards, then fumbles. I'm sorry. And Odell Beckham, he is that far out of my mind. He's not even a premier wide receiver anymore. He's not even top 30. He's not a number 1 receiver anymore on any NFL team.
No, not even close. And Landry was always the guy who would have, when he was at Miami, he'd have 10 catches for 60 yards.
Yeah.
Because it was just the way they'd use him. They'd just throw it to him just super quick and on crushing all the different things. But he would always catch everything. He's like Chris Godwin, sneaky, awesome hands, and people don't realize it because they were never an explosive Odell type of receiver.
Yeah,
but they're bad. I just don't know what's going on. They've dropped so many first downs, second down, and even fourth downs this year. I know I mentioned last week, but Odell drops the fourth down. Says that's never happening again. That happened the next week. It just must be driving them crazy. They're so injured.
A couple of bad eggs out of there, I think.
Yeah, people don't talk about the defense, but the D's bad too. The running backs are beaten up. The D's got injuries, I should say.
The back end guys are injured. They've got no D backs. Denzel Ward, their premier corner, isn't playing much.
They got nothing. They're all
Garrett's
Garrett's a gun.
He's unbelievable.
But after that, they're so injured. It's sad because they were kind of I picked them to win the division. I really thought they were set to peak this year.
I wasn't as high, but I thought they'd make the playoffs. easily.
They got 10 starters on IR or something ridiculous like that. Like, it's mental.
But they've got to find a way. They're 4-4. They're not out of it. They've got a way back. But
no, I think they've got a way back to the playoffs.
I think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think they win a Super Bowl. I can't
think
see
so.
it. But Baker's, you're right. Baker, just on Baker alone, he's too hurt. I'm gaining some respect for Baker though this year. He's playing.
He tried to play on that short. He tried to play on that short week after getting hurt. Like, went through the warm-ups and everything. Like, I think he's
got his issues, but he's tough as nails. You can't argue that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it for Contender or Pretender. And Richie, that brings us. This is one of the most efficient shows we have ever had.
Very efficient.
Efficient is the word. I'll finish up by thanking our sponsors, Burnley Brewing, Dark Horse Electrics, US Sports Gear, and our new sponsor for our Patreon, $10 a month. Gets you in a chance to win a helmet, much like this one. This is this month's Patreon helmet, signed mini from Burt Jones, 76 MVP, nice little Colts Pro Line helmet with the card in there and everything. Real one. I'll be doing that break tomorrow morning, guys.
Is there anybody named Burt under 70?
No.
Under 70 years old? I don't think there is. As soon as you said it was Burt, I'm like, that's awesome. I want that helmet. That's so good.
Burt Jones, 76 MVP. But yeah, if you want to get in, thanks to Jake and Darren from J and D's Breaks Down Under. I will make sure their page is in all our Facebook stuff. Get in there, join their group, get involved, get around them. They're an awesome group of guys. The community in there is really lovely. So get in there and join them. Make sure you follow all of us on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, particularly Instagram. And if someone knows how to do Instagram, can you please just come to me and teach me or do it, because I just suck. If anyone wants to help me run social medias at the Vault, this is my call out. Feel free. Get in touch, because I need all the help I can get with it. Richie, thank you as always, mate. I hope you enjoy your Melbourne Cup day.
I'm working, so yeah.
And I'll see you at football practice tonight, no doubt, because we're addicted to the grind, as someone say. Not me. Some younger, cooler people would probably say it, but not me.
I'm sure it's on social media on a t-shirt.
Oh, I should get a t-shirt, addicted to the grind, just to wear just all the time. So people know that I'm trying. Because if you don't wear a t-shirt,
put a little coffee grinder icon.
Yeah,
take the piss out of those CrossFitters.
Yeah, how good's CrossFit? Love it.
Love it. Love Baker.
Thank you, Richie. Thanks for spending some time with me today on Melbourne Cup Day. Everyone, tune into the Chiefs kicking the living crap out of the Giants. It started now. I haven't got it on yet. I'll get it on straight after this. Richie, thank you as always, mate. And we'll see everyone. You'll hear us next week.